Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to draft and sew a puff sleeve. So to my returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. And to the new members, I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming. And please do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and also turn on your post notification bell so you'll be the first person to get notified when I drop a new video. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to draft a puff sleeve, and as you can see, I'm already doing some calculations. For our armhole circumference is 17, so 17 divided by 6.28, that will give us 2.4. But if you now want a more puffy sleeve, if you want to gather the upper part, that is the circumference, if you want to gather the shoulder part, you multiply that 2.4 by 2, so that will give you 5.5. So it's that 5.5 that is going to be our circumference. That's the radius that we're going to be marking on the fabric. And the length for the puff sleeve is 10.5, so I decided to make it 11. So 11 plus 1.5 for our casing. That's the puff is going to be having an elastic casing, an elastic rather. So 11 plus 1.5 for the elastic casing, that's 12.5. So 12.5 plus extra 2 inch is allowance to make it more puffy, so that is 14.5. So I decided to just make it 15.5. But then you remember that we're going to be cutting 5.5 out of that fabric. So to get the exact length of 15 inches, you're going to add 15 plus 5.5 together. That is 20.5. So by the time you remove that radius of 5.5, you're going to get your exact 15 inches. I hope you understand what I'm saying. All right, so let's get down to the main course. So the first thing we're going to be doing is to get the full length of the fabric. Meanwhile, I have folded my fabric into four because we're going to be cutting two pieces. So as you can see that I have folded my fabric into four. So we're going to be cutting two pieces of sleeve together. That's the right and the left. We are cutting them together. So I folded my fabric into four. Then the next thing is to get the length of the fabric. I have 20.5, exactly 20.5 is what I have there. As you can see what I'm doing, I'm trying to mark my 20.5 all the way. Make sure you place your tape by the edge of the fabric so you get your exact measurement. As you can see, I have connected my dots together, so that's 20.5 that I marked there. Then the next thing is to mark your radius, and the radius we had is 5.5, so you're going to be marking 5.5 there. So I'm checking my length to see if I have 15. So by the time when I checked, I see that the what I marked there wasn't accurate. So I decided to take the measurements again because I had um 15.5 that about. So I decided to mark it again because I didn't place my tape well. So as you can see what I'm doing, I'm trying to, so you can see that I have exact 15 inches. So when you're cutting yours, when you're placing your tape, make sure that you're placing it on the exact 5.5. So you're going to get 15 inches exactly. So that is my 5.5 right there. So from there, from that 5.5 to that 20.5, so I have 15 inches. So that is what I was trying to explain to you, that you're going to add your 15 inches to your 5.5 to give you 20.5. So by the time you remove your 5.5, you're going to have 15 inches. Then the next thing is to cut. All right, so as you can see what we have right there, by the time I open it, we have two pieces. So when you're folding, you fold your fabric into four, so you can cut both the left and the right sleeve together. That will save you a lot of time. I mean, if you don't know how to cut, make sure you practice on a pattern paper first before cutting on your fabric, so you know that okay, yes, you're doing the right thing. So practice on your pattern paper, fold your pattern paper into four and cut to see if you have two pieces. So as you can see the radius, you can see how big it is. So the next thing is to pleat. By the time you pleat, make sure when you're pleating to the exact measurement of your armhole. Okay, so the next thing to do now is to measure the circumference of the length. So our length, our short sleeve length is 11. So that 11 points, you're going to measure the circumference of that 11 points, and the measurement we have there is 12. So that 12 inches is what you're going to cut on your not 12, 10. We have 10 inches, sorry. So is that 10 inches you're going to cut on your elastic. So you pick your elastic, you measure 10 inches. So that 10 inches, after creating your elastic casing for the length of that sleeve, is that 10 inches you're now going to pleat all your fabric into. You're going to place it into it. So is that um that pleating is what is going to give you that really nice and puffy effect. So as you can see that I have attached my fabric to the organza. So before then I noticed that the fabric was a bit too soft, because if it's too soft it's not going to give us that standing puffy effect. So I added an organza to it. As you can see, my black organza. So I cut the exact measurements, for not exactly the exact measurements, but I made the organza a little bit bigger, so when I'm attaching the fabric, the main fabric, to the organza, it won't be too short. So after attaching the fabric into it, as you can see how nicely it's looking, I left like a little thread. So when I was attaching it, I adjusted my sewing machine to a loose tension, so it would be easier for me to gather my sleeve by pulling the thread that I left. So it's that thread that I'm going to pull to give me that little gathers on the shoulder. Okay, so as you can see that I have gathered the shoulder part. I used the little thread that I left earlier. That's what I used. I pulled it. As you can see the thread, I pulled the thread. So make sure that when you are attaching your fabric, when you're sewing down your fabric, make sure you what's it called, make sure you adjust your sewing machine. Yes, adjust your sewing machine to a really loose tension. If your sewing machine is on 3, which is the normal tension, adjust it to like a 5, so it's going to be very loose. It will be easier for you to pull the thread, and make sure when you're pulling the thread it doesn't cut. So pull it gently till you have your gather effect. As you can see how mine is standing beautifully. So the next thing now to do is to create my elastic casing for the elastic, and the elastic inches we're using is half an inch. That's the size of the elastic I'm using, half an inch. So I'm going to be folding my fabric to an half an inch size. So you fold one and you fold the second time. So the middle is going to be the elastic casing, so you just sew by the edge of the fabric. And when you're sewing, try as much as possible not to touch the body of the fabric, because that's where your elastic is going to pass through. So you just sew a little on the edge. So you fold a little one and you fold the second time. As you can see what I did there. So you fold one and then you fold the second time. So that's edge is what you're going to sew, and make sure that when you're sewing you leave a little opening, because that opening is where your elastic is going to pass through. So you try as much as possible to leave like a 2 to 2.5 inches opening. So after you're done passing your elastic into the elastic casing, then you can now close it up. So as you can see, that is my elastic. So you measure the circumference of the length, which is 10 inches. So it's that 10 inches. That 10 inches is what we cut on the elastic. So as you can see, that is what I'm trying to do there. You're going to pass your, that's, you can see the opening I was telling you about. You leave like 2.5 inches opening. So you pass your thread and your elastic into the elastic casing. As you can see that I've created my elastic casing. So make sure you pin that other edge of the elastic to the fabric. So when you're passing your elastic into the elastic casing, the whole of the elastic doesn't go into the fabric, into the elastic casing rather. So you pin the other edge to the elastic. So after passing my elastic into it, this is the effect. As you can see how beautiful and nice my puff is looking. So this is the effect it's going to give you. If you have any questions, so feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. I'll be more than available to answer all of your questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you still waiting for? Come on, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, and also do not forget to turn on your post notification bell. So as you can see, this is the dress that I made, and that is the puff sleeve. So you can head over to my Instagram page at _molarave official to shop that beautiful dress. Thank you for watching.